So I have myself a little problem here in the Lone Wolf garage. The brake light on the Dyna is engaged without me engaging the brakes. Time to track down a gremlin. So I got myself a brake light problem. Kind of dangerous. People don't know when I'm slowing down, when I'm stopping. Let's figure this out. So this isn't my first time dealing with brake lights not working on a Harley. My experience points me in the direction of the brake pressure switch. Specifically, the rear one. On pretty much every single Harley Davidson, the rear brake pressure switch sits close to the exhaust or right at the back of the engine where there's a lot of heat and there's a lot of tumultuous events going on, like rocks being thrown up into it, gunk and sludge and asphalt collecting on it, and they fail. One sign that they failed is that the brake light is on constantly, just ah. The other is that when you actually hit the brake pedal, it doesn't come on at all. But before I actually pull the switch off, I want to rule out that it's not a wiring issue going from the switch back to the light. How do we do that? Well, we pull the two little tabs off and we jump them with a paper clip. On this here 2012 Dyna switchback, as with most Dynas, you are going to find the rear brake pressure switch up under here. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. So let's carefully pull these guys off. Take our paper clip and we shove one in here. And we shove the other one in there. I can tell that the brake light is engaged and it is not hooked up directly to the pressure switch anymore. It being jumped with the paper clip, and if I pull the paper clip out, it goes right back to a running light. So that means the wiring is good, which points us even further in the direction of the pressure switch being bad. So the rear brake pressure switch on a lot of these Harleys is designed so it acts as a hex nut, so you can easily get them off. This one is a 17 millimeter. However, I don't have a 17 millimeter deep socket handy. I can't find it, so I'm gonna go with 11/16, which is the closest one that fits. Put a piece of cardboard down because it will leak slightly. I don't want that all over the floor. These brake pressure switches are banjo style switches. And there is a washer on both sides, so don't forget to keep an eye on where that other one falls. So here is the offending brake pressure switch. As you can see, hole in the end, banjo style fitting. Here is the new Bolt Banjo RR brake switch. Oh, made in Italy. That explains why it is metric. 17 millimeters. $9.84 at the dealer. So it's not one of those things that's going to kill you to go down there and get it. You're not really going to save anything by trying to track down an alternate version. And as it stands, I actually couldn't find anything other than the Drag Specialties one, which was like $15. So it just makes sense to buy the Italian Harley Banjo Bolt rear brake switch. Ciao. And don't forget, you're going to need the washer that's on the old Banjo rear brake switch bolt. For the new one. So we need to get the Banjo bolt back through the rear brake line. With washers for both sides from the old one. Then we need to feed that back into the rear of the master brake cylinder. I'm going to bet there's a torque spec for this, but I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to snug it up. And then we reattach our connectors. Most likely you will need to bleed the rear brake because when you took out the rear banjo bolt pressure switch, the rear brake line actually emptied out. This is probably going to be the most annoying and difficult part of this. However, I highly recommend picking up a brake bleeder vacuum pump. This is the Pittsburgh version from Harbor Freight. I know a lot of people have their misgivings about Harbor Freight, but if you saw my Harbor Freight liquid transfer pump video, you know that I've been having some good luck with these things. And this one works very well. So let's bleed this sucker out. Basically just have to do it so you don't see any more bubbles. Moment of truth. Does it work? It works. I'm legal. Ooh, it stuck up on me.